Hello everyone. How you all doing? It's been a while. Because I've been working on this video. This video is very important. This video is about transitioning to finance and accounting. But there are like four sets of people that will benefit from this video. First of all, you have non-accounting graduates. So yeah, there are four sets of people that this video is going to benefit. So the first set of people would obviously be those who have no accounting or finance background, but they're looking to come into finance or accounting, right? Yeah. So this video is going to benefit you a whole lot. The second set of people will be those who have and that will be those, let's say they are still undergraduates, right? The second set of people will be those that are graduates that have no finance or accounting background. The third set of people will be those that have finance and accounting background, but they're not even sure which part they should go into, and they are undergraduates. The fourth set of people will be those that have finance and accounting background and um, are not sure what to do next. They want to see their options, they want to weigh their options, they want to know what's available in the market, and they are graduates, right? So let's just get into it. I mean, this slide is packed. This slide is packed seriously. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so this is our outline, right? We'll have a brief introduction, we'll go through the outline, I'll issue a disclaimer. Um, then we'll go to the second slide, which is one of my favorites. All right, so the second part of the video is the you can do it success story. So I really love this part of the video because it shows you people that have actually made it from non-accounting backgrounds or non-finance background. They are doing like top things in their respective accounting or finance fields, right? The third part of this video is going to be about the big why do you want to do it. Then I'll tell you ways to transition because I'm very practical. I don't just like talking about around something. Yeah, so I like to be very practical. So I'm going to talk about the ways that you can actually transition. Then we'll talk about the basics of finance and accounting. We'll talk about a very interesting topic when it comes to finance and accounting, and that's the big fours, right? Yeah. So you might have heard one or two things being mentioned about the big fours, or you've not heard about them at all. And this will be your first introduction. Don't worry, I've got you covered. Then we go to another slide that I really like. I called it the good, the bad, and the money. And then we'll end with the last slide. You don't have to do it. Yeah. So let's just start. Let's just start. Let's just get into it. My name is Shion Bello. I graduated from mechanical engineering, but I'm currently into accounting and auditing now. Um, a disclaimer: everything said in this video is based on personal or online assumptions and is not a reflection of any of the organizations mentioned here. This is mainly for educational purposes, and there can be changes or updates made before or after the presentation was made. Information did not come directly from these organizations. Estimates were also made to simplify the assumptions, and I do not speak or represent any organization. Thank you. All right, so success story. So, a brief throwback. I was working in an investment firm as a graduate trainee one time, and there was a guy that came in. Before he came in, it was hyped that there was going to be this product. I don't know if it's a product manager or product designer. I can't remember something about product shop. This guy is very good. He's going to come in. He's going to help us in the product space. Blah 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 blah. And okay, that's cool. I was not on that team, right? But I had heard that okay, someone was coming in. So eventually, this guy came in, and his seat was close to mine, right? On some days, we will be the only ones in the office. So we got close and we started talking. And that's how I discovered this guy graduated from. He graduated from pharmacy in one university, sha. And I'm like, wow. He graduated with the first class for pharmacy, and he's into like he's a top person doing product um design or management. As at that was as at 4 or 5 years ago, before like tech really you get. And I was like, wow. I was like, when did you start this? And I think he said maybe sometimes around final year. And I was like, this is amazing. I'm saying that story for you to know that it's possible, right? It's very possible. I have 4 success stories, right? These are people I know personally. I didn't want to bring a success story I saw online or a success story that is second-hand story. I'm bringing success stories that I know personally, right? The first person is a high flyer in a big four organization. He has gotten double promotion once. I mean, if you know what it takes to get a double promotion in a big four, and he's currently an assistant manager, like he's a top person. And this guy graduated from petroleum engineering. Imagine petroleum engineering. So I mean, when you have someone like this doing such great things and you check what he did in his undergrad days and he's able to transition and all those transition he's able to even do it exceedingly well, man, you know that yes, by God's grace this thing is possible. The second person I would like to talk about is a semi-senior in a big four. She came from clinical sciences, like all the way. Imagine, and she's doing amazing. The third person I would like to talk about is a senior associate in a big four. This guy is very good, honestly. Like, and he came from petroleum engineering. This guy just he fits into the audit consultant world so easily. The last person, oh, my face is covering it. I'm sorry for that. The last person is an associate in Forbes Mazars, right? That's also a top accounting firm in the world. Not so top in Nigeria, but outside Nigeria, Forbes Mazars, very well known. He's a 5 times ICANN award winner. For those of you who don't know what ICANN is, I have a video on my page that introduces you to ICANN exam. It's called ICANN exam YT, so you can just check it. Kindly like and subscribe. All right, so this guy is a 5 time icon prize winner. And guess what course he studied? Architecture. How? So I mean, this is possible. Honestly, this is possible by God's grace. So this is possible. All right, the big why. Why are you transitioning? Are you transitioning because your BSc course, the course you did in your BSc is not in your current plans, or because you just want to try something else, or because you found a new passion, you tasted finance or heard about finance or accounting, and you're like, oh, I like this, I'm passionate about it. Or it's just a new interest for you. Or you heard, okay, you can make billions in finance and you want more financial freedom, or you want to increase your earning capacity. I mean, for me, unlike most people, for me, when people tell me they want to transition, uh, the why is not the most important thing. As long as you're ready to see it through, that's what's more important. If you come here for the money, no problem. If you came here for interest, no problem. If you came here for passion, no problem. The most important thing is, are you willing to see it through? If you came here because you don't know what to do currently and you just feel like, okay, there's something you want to do for 1 or 2 years, no problem. The most important thing is just make sure you're willing to see it through. That's just it. In finance, in accounting, there's a whole lot for you. There's a whole lot for you to learn. There's a whole lot for you to gain. There's a whole lot of value that you can now provide to people once you've learned. So, I mean, the why is important to you, but the more important thing is saying it through. But please, if you're going for interview, but please, if you're going for interviews, right, package your why very well. Don't say because Shehun Bello said why is not important to you. Please, it's important to your employers. Oh. Package your why very well. All right, let's move. All right, so ways to transition. So I've grouped the ways you can transition into 3 major categories, right? First of all, you can transition by writing an exam. The first exam is ICANN. I won't say much on ICANN because I have a whole video dedicated on ICANN on my YouTube channel. Please just go check it out. The second one is ACCA, Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. So while ICANN is for like Nigeria, ACCA is for like UK and recognized in like most places globally, right? Yeah. So that's just what I'll say about it. Then you have CFA. For most people in the finance and accounting space, CFA is one of the top exams in the world. They have three levels. They have a lot of subjects in those levels. But yeah, so if you write CFA, I mean, you will be sought after in finance or accounting industry, right? The fourth way is CIS, the Chartered Institute of Stockbrokers. If you are someone that is like, well, all these things people are saying, that's not what I'm here for. I'm here because I'm interested in that buying and selling of shares, companies, equity, and the like. Then this is the exam for you. The last one is Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria. If you're interested in the insurance companies, the insurance industry, this exam will get you into it. Right. All right. So the second way is through graduate training. Um, I have tried my best to. Why I did with this is I didn't just mention the companies you can enter. I purposely tried to put a lot of top companies. I purposely tried to put a lot of companies according to the industries so that if you're someone that has particular preference, when you see these graduate training applications come out, you quickly apply. If you're someone that still does not have any preference, you can apply to all of this. Any one of them will get into finance and accounting, right? All right, so the first one is Fugas. So what do they call the Fugas? The Fugas are the top banks in Nigeria. It's an acronym for First Bank, UBA, GTB, Access Bank, and Zenith Bank. Right? The first time I heard someone use Fugas, it was on LinkedIn, and it was like, oh, the Fugas banks are increasing salaries. Blah 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 blah. And I was like, what is Fugas? Which bank is Fugas? So yeah, Fugas, First Bank, UBA, GTB, Access, and Zenith. These banks are at the top of their game. They are consistently increasing salary, consistently increasing compensation. So it's one of the best ways to enter into finance and accounting, right? The second one is Big Fours. You have Deloitte, EY, KPMG, and PwC. These are the top professional services firms in the world and even in Nigeria. They provide audit, tax, and consultancy services, advisory, and also accounting services. The third way is through McKinsey, and BCG. This one's their exam can be a bit tough. Other ones say their exam can be a bit tough, but this one is more tricky, sha. Yeah, but I mean, I believe in you guys. So there's McKinsey and BCG. These guys are more of consultants, right? But you learn a lot about finance, a lot about strategy. Yeah. The fourth way is through other audit firms, right? All right. So the fourth way is through other audit firms. Talk about Forbes Mazars, talk about Pedabo, talk about Anderson. Another way is through if you are interested in pension companies, Stanbic Pension, Premium Pension, Leadway, you can apply to them. Once their graduate training comes out, please apply. Also through application to asset management companies. We're talking about Stanbic, FBN Quest, United Capital, CHD, which is Chapel Hill Denham. You have ARM, AXA, GT Fund, Quantum Zenith, FSDH, Lotus Capital. You can see that if you want to come into finance or accounting, there are so many ways, so many applications you can send in. I mean, the ball is in your court, literally, right? All right, so the last one is through insurance companies, right? The top insurance companies are ICO, AXA Mansa, Leadway, Coronation, NEM, Custodian, FBN, and RS. Yeah. All right. Also, the last way is as an experienced hire, right? So you can either come in as an experienced hire after getting one or two experiences in a smaller firm, smaller accounting or audit firm for full employment. You can come in, let's say NYSC post you to some of these companies, or you are able to get a posting in some of these companies for your NYSC or internship, or you come in as a contract staff and then you eventually convert to an experienced hire. All right, now let's go to the basics of finance and accounting. For finance, the basics are corporate finance, equity investment, and fixed income. This one has to do with money and companies. Buying, I don't want to use too much of technical terms, but like buying shares in companies, investing money in the money markets. Yeah. The, you also have to learn about portfolio construction, quantitative method, alternative investment, and economics. Then you learn about financial statement analysis, that's FS, and ethics. Yeah. For accounting, you have to learn about the double entry principle, right? So you know how when money comes into your account, you call it a credit alert. When money comes into the company, the accountant records it as a debit. So please, right? Um, that's one of the basics you have to learn. Also, there's this argument that goes on Twitter a lot. Is a car a liability or an asset? Most accounting people will not even think twice. They'll be like, it's an asset. But then the non-accounting people will be like, no, it's a liability. You're spending money on fuel, maintenance, this, that. It's a liability. It's just taking money from you. Well, I mean, when it comes to, let's go a bit deeper. When it comes to IES 16, PPE, a car is an asset, right? But for Twitter argument purposes, you may not be able to convince a non-accounting person that a car is a liability. But please, the moment you cross over to accounting world, the audit world, the finance world, a car is an asset. Please, let's just get that right. But you can drop what you feel in the comment section, sir. All right, then you have to learn about financial accounting, management accounting, business management, finance, and business law. So basically, all this is just like when money comes into a company, how do we record it, right? How do you record it when money comes into a company? How does that record flow to the owners of the company? What are the laws and regulations guiding it, right? So yeah. Then you have FS analysis, that's financial statement analysis, and ethics. Ethics is a core part of finance and accounting because there's a lot of leeway, there's a lot of room for application of principles, right? What that means is in accounting, even though there's a lot of rules, there's also a lot of principles. So because you have a lot of principles, they expect that you should do things based on the most prudent and most fair way. You understand? So call it true and fair view. But it's possible that you can do things in two ways. The second way you know is not fair. You know, even though the principle allows you to use two ways, you know this is not accurately capturing what you should. That's where ethics comes in. All right. All right, let's talk about the big fours. So these are some like finance or career influencers on Twitter, and they've all said something. So let's see. So Sarah was like she thinks the biggest grade she has had is working in a big four. She always seems to get jobs abroad even without applying. She would advise we get a big four experience. It's a ticket. All right. Um, Ayo Bankole said, I've seen people dismiss big four jobs because of the measly 130K salary. Let me tell you something. If you're a fresh grad and you're lucky enough to get into KPMG or any of the big four, That salary should be the least of your worries. Yeah. So I would just like to say something. There is no big four full-time position entry level that is 130K. The minimum is 400K. I think my next slide or so will talk about it. So yeah. But the point of the tweet is even if you have to take a pay cut to get into a big four, it can really help you in the long run. Yeah. All right. Then Jario says, it reminds him of a young man they recruited from Big Four to join him in his tax department. This guy was checking his alerts when his first salary landed. He didn't believe the offer until he worked for 1 month and truly saw the alert. I mean, so this guy worked in a Big Four, and then he was now recruited to work in the tax department of the company. When he saw the alert, he was like, wow. So I mean, there's a lot of opportunities when you work for Big Four. So let's dive into it. All right, what are the Big Fours? What are the Big Fours? So Big Fours are the top accounting firms in the world by size, by standard, by the work they do, by who they work for. Yeah. So the first one we have is PwC. So the point of this video, right, is to intimate you with the Big Fours, is to give you little introductory tips so that if you happen to land an interview with the Big Fours, you already have an idea to an extent and you know what to research on more for them, right? So this gives you little interview tips plus introductory tips. You still have to do your research if you have an interview with them. All right, PwC, Price Waterhouse Coopers. So two companies came together, Price Waterhouse and Coopers Lybrand, to form the PwC. What are their major lines? What they do majorly is assurance, advisory or consulting, and tax. They just moved their headquarters, so they're currently at Millennium Towers, BI, Lagos. They do a lot of CSR, and they generally try to always do an end of the year party. Big Four, PwC are known for their big merger and acquisition deals. Yeah, they do a lot of big merger. I mean, these are things you can look up online and see the deals they've done. For graduate trainee or entry level, PwC pays 500K. Yeah, plus or minus 500K, depending on if you're chartered or not chartered accountants. But yeah, PwC shook up the big four, shook up other big fours because recently they reviewed their salary upwards. So everyone is waiting to see what the big fours will do. All right, we'll stay tuned. All right, the next one is EY. That's Ernst and Young. So two companies came together, Ernst Whitney and Arthur Young and Co. to form EY, Ernst and Young. What does EY do? Yeah, so EY's major service lines are um, assurance, consulting, tax, strategy, and transactions. So you can see that strategy is one of their major service lines as opposed to PwC. EY's current address is UBA House, Marina, Lagos, Nigeria. So I got this from online, but if they've updated it, please just let me know in the comment section. So one of EY's major achievements currently is the audit of two Fugas banks. That is the audit two of those big Fugas banks I previously mentioned. They also audit the biggest telco in Nigeria, and they host prominent business awards. Graduate entry or entry level for EY is plus or minus 400K. Yeah. All right. So the next big four on our list is KPMG. Some informal details. KPMG means Kleinville, Pitt, Marwick, Guardella. So what happened was sometime in the 1980s, Fitzmaurice International and Kleinville Main Guardella, two separate companies, came together to form KPMG, Kleinville Fitzmaurice Guardella. KPMG is into audit, assurance, advisory, and tax. Their current their headquarters is currently at Bishop Aboyade Cole BI. KPMG's one of KPMG's biggest achievements currently is that they audit two of the Fugas banks. They also conduct the audit for the biggest cement company in Africa, in Nigeria, West Africa, and maybe Africa. KPMG, like PwC, is also into big M&A deals, that's merger and acquisition deals. They do a lot of CSR. They have these KPMG deals they do every 2 years, and their guided trading level is plus or minus 400k. And the last um, big four is Deloitte. It sounds so touchy. All right, so in Nigeria, it's known as Akintola Williams Deloitte after the um, father of accounting, Williams Akintola. All right, Deloitte has 4 service lines: audit, tax, consulting, and risk advisory. They are known for their Deloitte Academy where they do intensive IFRS training. Let me just say that all big fours do intensive IFRS training, but like Deloitte is just really known for it, right? They are into public sector consulting, and graduate training ends plus or minus 480k. Yeah. All right. So I like this slide so much. The good, the bad, and the money. So this slide is majorly about big fours, but I also incorporated some things from the Fugas banks, right? So because both the Fugas banks and the big fours have a lot of similarities, right? Yeah. It's just that it seems like the Fugas banks pay a lot more, especially as you go higher. All right, so the good when it comes to the big fours or the Fugas banks, I mean, all these companies, they will boost your CV. They have brand reputation. I mean, that's very important. They have a top tier training and development, um, competitive compensation and benefits. All right, so they all have competitive compensation and benefits. So yeah, these guys have competitive compensation and benefits, exceptional networking opportunities. I mean, sometimes if I go through CFO of a big company, a big bank, their profile, most of them came from big fours, right? So there's if you go through some people doing big things in oil and gas, they came from big fours. Some came from the big banks. So I mean, yeah, a structured career progression, early responsibility, especially in big fours, they give you a lot of responsibility from day one. Uh, yeah, so you also have global mobility. It's easier to move from one big four in Nigeria to a big four abroad, or to other big fours abroad. Yeah, exposure to diverse industries, mentorship and coaching. Then, then you also have job security. The bad, long and demanding hours. I mean, for the big fours, you usually have busy season. During that time, it's a whole lot of mental workload, right? So if you're someone that can't take that kind of pressure, you might not be looking to the big fours. For the Fugas bank, usually the end of the month, right? So I mean the pressure is a bit less there. High pressure environment, especially for the big fours, limited work-life balance, intense competition, especially for the big fours. I mean, if you're working in a big four, you look around, you have first class here, 2 1s here, you have people that have won awards in previous companies, icon awards, and the like. So, intense competition. Blackout dates. I mean, there are sometimes, especially in big fours, when the client deadline is priority. You may not be able to do some family events. You may not be able to take your leave during those times. Call that blackout dates, right? Also, it involves a lot of travel and commute. You will always be going to one place, going to this other place. I mean, sometimes you go to Abuja, PH, other states. So then burnout and high turnover. Yeah. All right, the money. I mean, competitive based salary. So you can see the way all the big fours currently their graduate training is currently between 400 and 500. So there's always that competitive based salary, right? They generally refund you for your professional exams, especially the ones written in Nigeria or written for Nigeria, rather. Yeah. um, for Nigerian professional certification. You generally get performance bonuses. The Fugas banks especially. Hey, whenever their bonuses enter like this, they used to drop it on Twitter. If you have any friend in First Bank, if you have any friend in Access Bank, go and message them. Just give them huge bonus. All right, yeah. Defined career path regularly pay increases, overtime pay, lunch and transport allowance, especially for the big fours when you're working on client side. Yeah. All right. To conclude, right, I would just have to say, even if you watch this video, if you thought about it and you're still not interested, you don't have to do it, right? You can just continue your current line. You can pick something else. You can go into tech. There's so many other options, right? And you'll still be successful. But if you want to do it, you need to know that it is not impossible. Not as impossible. All right, yeah. So I think that's Latin for not impossible. So you need to know then if you're interested and you already know, okay, this is not impossible. I want to do this. Set your goals. Get ready to adapt. Have long term goals, short term goals. Think in the long term because you won't you will have to pay the price. It's going to take a while before you start getting the benefits, right? So think in the long term. And it's important for you to know that you have strengths, right? You have strengths. Play to your strengths. If you're coming into this space, you definitely have some strength that some people in this space don't have. Find it, play to it, and by God's grace, you will excel. Yeah, so thank you so much. If you like this video, if there was something that made sense in this video to you, kindly share. Please share it to undergraduates, graduates. Please share it to on your group chats. Like and subscribe. If you want me to do a video detailing a part of this video, please also let me know. The reason I did this video is because someone requested for it. Like 5 or 6 people requested for it. So the more requests I get for a video, the more I prioritize. This was not the video I was supposed to do next, but I was put under some pressure to do this video because a lot of people requested for it, and I just had to get it out before I get there of any other thing. So the more I get requests on a particular video, the more I do that. All right, thank you so much and enjoy.